What's up, y'all? This Kamali, man. I'm back with another teacher video, and this particular video is called Influencing the Little Homies, and it's based on the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19 through 20. And my reference towards this teaching is the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 42. So let's get to it. It says, the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19 through 20. It says, "So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But anyone who obeys God's laws and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." So, like, for example, like gangbangers, for example, Bloods, Crips, essays, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Whatever. You know, a lot of times, I'm not gonna say all, because there's some gangbangers that see little homies and see young ones or the youth wanna be admired by what they doing that's corrupted and wrong and foolish and sinful, and they want to be a part of that because they feel like it's amazing. But like they say, whatever that everything that glitter isn't gold. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that means what seem like what seems like is like that basically means what look good doesn't always mean that it is. You feel me? You know, a lot of times people, like, for example, just because you see this beautiful woman that looks good, you think she's perfect, you think she doesn't have any experience at all. You think she just been, you know, to herself and stuff, never don't mess around with a lot of guys or haven't even messed with a lot of guys before, but and you expecting that she may not have no STD or may not have a kid or whatever, but come to find out, she does. She has a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of the youth get influenced by Bloods, Crips, just dudes that's out in the streets, running the streets, you know what I'm saying, out of elation, you know what I mean? And you got some dudes in the streets and that see a little homie and they'll tell them like, nah man, you shouldn't get involved in this. But you got some of the gangbangers, they don't give a damn. They tell a youth a little homie like, hey, you wanna be involved in this, homie? Like, this what you gotta do, you gotta kill, you gotta go, you gotta sell dope, you gotta smoke weed, get drunk, high, all that. You know, that's leading, that's influencing a little homie to go down the wrong route. Instead of telling him like, man, you don't need this, you need to go to school, you need to go to college, you know what I'm saying? Study God, believe in God and be a man of God or whatever. Or it's women that get influenced too. It ain't just dudes, it's women too. But like the Bible says, it says, so if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Basically, by you telling somebody young or whatever to do something wrong or that is sinful or whatever, when you die and you go to and you get judged, you gonna be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven because you led people down the wrong route. You influencing people or influencing the youth to go down a wrong path that is foolish or that is corrupt, that is wicked, that is a part of the devil. You know what I'm saying? But it says here, but anyone who obeys God's laws and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So like if you tell like if the big homies tell the little homies, nah man, you don't need to be getting involved in this, you know what I'm saying? This is not cool and stuff like that, and those individuals, God respects those individuals because they trying to lead a not they trying to prevent a little youngster from destroying his life. You know what I'm saying? By gang banging, shooting people, uh, robbing, uh, smoking weed, getting being an alcoholic, getting high on dope, going to the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You know, you know, like even for example, it's even it's even women, for example, that see these group of girls that's popular and they see they got all these boys around them and stuff like that, but the girl ain't noticing that they doing foolish stuff. For example, they may be popular because of the sex that they giving to the dudes that's showing them love, but deep down inside, them dudes don't care about them women. They don't care about them. They just flossing them around their homies, but they don't care about them like that. But the women care about them, but the men don't. So this girl, a girl that's just random, that's focused on her studies and stuff, sees that and she think like, oh, you just go over there and not do nothing, just introduce yourself and then you in. But realistically, she ain't realizing that she not just go get in like that. You gotta do certain things, and a lot of them things is foolish, sinful, corrupted, wicked. You know, and a lot of and them girls end up influencing the nerd looking girl to if you want to be popular, you gotta have have a groupie with all these dudes that we know and stuff like that. And you don't even have to do that. You don't have to do that to be popular. Like you don't have to be popular. Instead of being popular in man's eye, be popular in God's eye. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Because one minute people would acknowledge you and stuff like that, or have love for you, then the next minute they'll turn their back on you. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And I know because of experience. You know what I'm saying? I forgive them, but a lot of times people say they love you one minute, then the next minute they leave you stranded. You know, leave you behind. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but it says in verse 20, but I warn you, unless your righteousness is better than the righteousness of the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So, like for example, uh, like the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they didn't believe nothing that Jesus was talking about. They felt like he was an insult to them. But the thing about the Pharisees, like they was following their own tradition, their own tradition. They wasn't following God's. They was following their own laws, but they try to make it seem like it's holy laws, but it's not. It's their own opinion. Like, let me give you an example. Like a Don. A Don doesn't go by anybody's orders, but his own. He don't care about what his comrades had to say about it. Whether he know that he's wrong and his comrades addresses something opposite from him and he knows is right, that what his comrades is saying, he's still not gonna obey what they saying. He feels like he knows it all. He knows what's up. He know the whole get go. But realistically, even if his comrades say something that is real and that is truthful, but he don't wanna follow it. He don't wanna abide by that. He like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I understand it's true, but I want things to go my way. I want it to be the way I said it. Now, them kind of individuals, they would never enter the kingdom of heaven because they stuck up, they stubborn, and they only go by what they feel. But your feelings can be deceived, just like just like looks can be deceiving. You know what I'm saying? By you thinking that you know everything, you can get deceived in something And then when you realize that it was wrong, it hurts you bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, basically a Don thinks that they're God, but they're not God. Because if they was God, then why are they human? Why are they human? Why are they sinful? You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing corrupted things? You know what I'm saying? Why are they sending their comrades to go kill this person and do this and prevent the police or whatever from knowing what they doing and all this stuff, committing all these different crimes. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't do that. God doesn't want us to be simple. You know what I'm saying? God teaches us how to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? And those type of individuals that has the thought of a Don, where they feel like nobody rules is good but their own, no matter what, they would never. Those type of individuals would never enter the kingdom of heaven because they assuming and think that they know it all, but they don't. They don't. But like I was saying in verse 19 where it says, when you lead someone that's to do something wrong, this is how this is my reference in the book of Mark chapter 9 verse 42 where Jesus said this, but if you cause one of these little ones who trust in me to fall into sin, it would be better for you to be thrown into the sea with a large millstone hung around your neck. That's basically like a rock hung around your neck and you drown in the water. It's kind of like a similarity of you being hung with a rope, but instead of being hung with a rope, the rock is hanging. It is like drink pushing you down into the sea where you can't get up, where you can't climb up. It's like, for example, like just say for example, if you tie a rope and you put it on the floor and then and you put the rope on the floor after you tie it and then you put a rock on top of it and you try to pull it, it's not gonna it's gonna be devastated for it to difficult for it to for the rope to get off from the rock. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like with that being hung on your neck and being tossed in the water, drowning. You know what I'm saying? That's how Jesus feel like. That's a no. Why lead somebody to do something wrong and foolish and against God's laws, and that could be that could be lead you to hell, lead you to eternal damnation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what the devil do. The devil influence people, whether you lost or even if you saved. He tries to get every particular person, especially the ones that saved and following God. He does everything he can to try to influence those individuals to do something wrong. He's doing that 24/7. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a believer and you convince or tell another believer to do something that's against God, God is going to be upset about that. Even if you're a non-believer, you know what I'm saying? God is not pleased with that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all the individuals that's out there, non-believers and believers, don't influence each other, whether it's a child, a young teen, a young adult, or a elderly adult to do something. Don't influence them or lead them to do something wrong, especially against God and what I'm saying, just in general. Like don't influence them to go down the wrong road or do something wrong or foolish or sinful. Lead them through the right direction. You know what I'm saying? At all times. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a call. It's you got to pay a price for that. So like for example, just say if a female, if a group of popular females tell this nerdy looking girl to go have fornication with 5 dudes that they know, and she do it, and then at the end of the day she feel disgusted, you know, them girls that influence her to do it, they gonna have to pay the price for that because they influence her to do it. And then plus another bad thing about it too is like they said she was their friend. What friend would influence you to do something wrong and foolish? Not a true friend, not a real friend. And that's how God feel. Like, like why would you do that? You know? But yeah, man, I hope y'all learned something from this teaching. God bless y'all. I love y'all, and there's more to come, bro. Peace.